My brother, you have opened up a can of worms of contradictions within the Bible by proposing this statement. So his statement is basically, in a nutshell, is that how is it that Enoch, who although the Bible doesn't expressly say was sinless, was able to not die and walk with God? And according to what David wrote in Psalms, that he was born into sin from the birth of his mother. And according to Jewish tradition as well, he didn't write this part, but according to Jewish tradition, it is also stated that after a woman has a baby, that baby and the mother are unclean, and anyone who touched the baby and the mother are unclean for a certain amount of days. In the Old Testament, it is roughly about 8 days. In the New Testament, it could be about 30 something odd days. But they are unclean because they are sin. Having a baby is sin. They have to offer a ritual sacrifice anytime a baby is born. So therefore, they are unclean and unworthy of God at the moment of birth. But yet, they are claiming that Jesus was sinless, and they are claiming that not Elijah, but I'm going to talk about Elijah. They're claiming that Elijah must have been sinless because Elijah also did not taste death, but also walked with God. And then we have Enoch, who did not taste death and walked with God as well. We also have what he pointed out in Hebrew, where it talks about the fact that everybody must taste death. Everybody will taste death before the great day of judgment. But yet, there's a contradiction within that as well. The contradiction in that is the fact that Jesus proclaimed, as well as Paul proclaimed, that before the generation to which they were living in, that there will be those among you who will not taste death. Paul literally thought that his generation, that he would see Jesus come back before he died. So, and even in the idea of a rapture, everybody must taste death. How can there be a rapture and people not taste death and people just go up with this God if everybody, according to Hebrews, must die before they go to heaven? Now, some people are going to come on here and they're going to say, well, everybody will die a spiritual death, that before they go to heaven. It is not literally talking about death, but yet the words in Enoch, the words about Elijah, are all utilizing a word that means a physical death. Has nothing to do with a spiritual death. When it talks about Adam will die in the day that he eat from the fruit, it is a word that means a physical death, not a spiritual death. So basically what you're looking at is a bunch of contradictions within the Bible. Some people don't taste death. Those of the rapture, no death whenever Jesus comes. Those who were loved by God so much, Elijah, Enoch, never taste death. Those will be a contradiction when it says that everybody must taste death. To say that anyone is sinless, it is not said exactly, but it would give you the idea that until Job questioned God, Job was also sinless. But according to the writings of Psalms, everybody is born into sin. According to the rituals, everybody birth is a sin, which is an interesting thought process when you think about it. This God created a world, and because of the act of two people, now everybody, no matter what your thoughts are, no matter who you are, no matter what you do as a baby or a child, you are sinful. And this is further corroborated by your God in the book of Genesis in the Noah story, because before he destroys everybody, he says that every thought from man from his youth is sinful. After the flood of Noah, he says again, I will not destroy the earth by water ever again, because every thought from man from youth is sinful. Go look it up yourself. It is there. So Elijah could not have been sinless. Job could not have been sinless. Enoch could not have been sinless. And since Mary had to give birth in the manger, in the lower part of the house of an ancient Israelite person in their time frame was called an inn. She gave birth in the manger, according to the Luke story, because there was no room for her to have a space of her own that would be considered unclean for the time frame before they can go back to the temple in Jerusalem and make sacrifice for the sin of having the baby Jesus through that blood. So whether you want to accept it or not, baby Jesus was born in sin. Yeah, You ever read the infancy gospel of Thomas? Jesus pushed a little kid off the roof of a building for no reason and then brings him back to life. Can't give a little kid all them kind of powers. But anyway, what do you guys think? Comment, subscribe, share, and always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.